Hi, this is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. I wanted to do a little video today to show you something else I'm planting. I'm determined to put roots in at this house as quick as I can with just a few things. I don't want to go too crazy because I do want to kind of have a little bit of some sense to what I'm putting in where and for the future growth. But I'm making a kind of a quick decision today on something because I was going through my seeds last night, the seeds that I have with me at my daughter's house, and I realized that I had some lovage seeds. Now, lovage is not something I have ever heard about my entire life. I don't know anybody in Louisiana that grows lovage. I don't know if I can grow lovage, but I want to try. It just appeals to me, the whole concept of it, because the whole plant is usable. It has so many uses I'm going to talk about in just a minute, but it also has a celery taste. Now, we use a lot of celery down here in South Louisiana. When we go to cook anything, we usually put green onions, celery, bell peppers, all those kinds of vegetables in everything that we do. In gumbos, etouffees, fettuccinis, just anything we go to do, really anything. Omelets, burritos, it doesn't really matter what it is. We love to use those types of vegetables. And let me throw out again, because I just did it in my cornbread dressing and stuff for Thanksgiving. I always have celery. So I would love to grow something that has that taste. Celery is hard to freeze, the real celery. It's hard to freeze. It gets, it's so watery that it tends to not, it turns to mush sometimes when you freeze it. I guess you could dehydrate it and things, but what I liked about the lovage plant was it has that taste, but it's from the leaves, and the leaves look just like celery leaves. Let me show you. So you can take these leaves and you can chop them up. You can put them straight into a stew, a soup. You could just use them as a salad green and just use them straight in your salads. I can visualize just putting some of them in chicken salad, just chopping them up and put them in chicken or tuna salad. I'm going to try more and more to just mix as many greens and vegetables as I can into my food, because I just haven't been eating that great lately, and I'm starting to crave things like that. And when you do start to crave things like that, it usually means those vitamins are starting to be lacking in your body, and I need to eat better. I can tell you I need to eat better. So it just reminded me when I was looking through these seeds last night that I want to plant some lovage. This is the pack of seeds that I got from Baker Creek. I got them when I ordered those perennials after my perennial video, and lovage was one of the items in my perennial video that I said I wanted to order, and I did. You can also get these from Johnny Seeds, or probably multiple places if you just get on the internet and try to find it. Actually, I was looking at West Coast Seeds website last night, and it said on there that you can start them indoors in the spring, early spring, and put them out after the last frost. But it also said you could direct sow them in the fall. Now, lovage is kind of an herb that likes to grow in the north. It gets hot down here. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to grow it, but I thought if I'm gonna give it the best chance possible, I thought that it would be better if I went ahead and just direct sowed it this fall and not tried to put it out as a transplant in the spring, when we run the risk of going from cool and comfortable weather to steaming hot weather very quickly. So I thought if I direct sowed it this fall and gave it as much of a chance as it could to acclimate to my climate in the cool weather. I say cool, it's burning up. Today's December 6th and it's burning up, but it'll get cooler at some point. So if it slowly gets cooler as my soil gets cooler here in South Louisiana, and then it goes through cold spells all through the winter under the soil as it's building its taproot, which it makes a long taproot. I'm gonna tell you about that in a second. I thought, it would have the best chance of acclimating, and by the time the spring comes, hopefully that taproot would be going and that plant would have that good start. So that's what I'm going to do today. Well, let's go. A couple of more facts about this long-lived perennial called lovage is that it's highly recommended as a companion plant. That is because when it flowers, it attracts predatory and beneficial insects, and it's also a great pollinator. If you're going to grow lovage with other perennials, which is also recommended, allow about 3 foot around it because it does spread out a little bit.
And the one big beneficial that I love is that it's deer resistant. I think I'm going to have a problem with deer at my new property, and that's okay. But it'd be good to plant some things that the deer don't like.
Now, right out here in the middle of my backyard, right over here is where I planted those Egyptian onions the other day. To the left of that tree, in that little raised area that stays raised all the way through there. But right out here in the open, I actually have 3, they're covered right now so you can't see them, but they're 3 holes that my uncle and my cousin had dug for me for my percolation test for my sewer. They wanted me to dig 3 holes, 2 foot deep, only 6 inches wide, fill them with water, let the water go down, fill them again, and then the lady came and she filled them and just judged by the absorption rate things she needed to know about our sewer to get our sewer permitted. Well, it says when you go to plant lovage to dig a very deep hole because they need loose soil to grow this taproot. And it's going to be a long taproot, and it's going to go for water deep down in the ground, and they need long holes. So I thought, you know what? They don't necessarily have to be in a flower bed. They grow 6 to 8 feet tall in that first year. They probably get taller than that eventually. I'm just going to plant 3 of them. It's going to be 1 there, 1 there, and 1 over here, right in the spots that my uncle and cousin dug those holes. I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that those holes have had the soil broken in them all the way down 2 feet deep. I'm just going to plant these seeds there, and I'm going to let them grow there. All 3 of them might not come up. You never know. I might end up with 1 plant. And if I have 1 big, beautiful lovage that I can see from my kitchen window right there, all the better. If I can see things and they're right here, I know I'll harvest off of them and I'll use them. If I was to put them way back in the back corner of my property or something, I might forget about them. But I'm just going to go ahead and dig these little holes and put them right here. Just going to take a little knife I have, just kind of loosen this soil. I'm just going to set them right there in that hole. To me, they kind of look like parsnip seeds. I just put like 3 seeds in this hole. I'm going to cover it up. And then I bought a little Christmas pencil a while ago. I actually bought 3 of them, and I'm just going to put them right by these little holes here where I'll put the seeds, just to remind me that they're here. When I'm walking around, I can kind of come over here and check on them and see if anything's coming up. And I'll do something different later on once it starts getting the need to mow or anything like that. Of course, these pencils may not last forever, but I'm just marking them today so that I won't forget that I put this lovage out here. As I said with lovage, the leaves look like celery leaves, and you can harvest those and use those in all kind of different ways. And also, they go to flower at some point. So as the weather warms up and they go to flower, at that point you don't want to harvest the leaves because the leaves kind of get bitter tasting when the plant flowers. But when they flower, that's a good thing, because after they, well, first of all, the flowers are beautiful. They recommend growing these in like a back part of your garden, because to be like a backdrop for your other plants, because these are supposed to flower so pretty. I pulled a couple of pictures off the internet. Let me show you those right now so you'll see what I'm talking about. And then after they flower, they put off seeds. Now the seeds can be harvested as well. The seeds can be harvested and kept in the dry form, and you can use those seeds to flavor things just like you would, say, fennel. I love Italian sausage. I love anything with fennel. It's one of my favorite herbs. And this year I'm actually going to try to grow some fennel from the ground. I told you about that the other day. I'm from West Coast Seeds. I got some Selma Fino fennel. I'm going to try that. But meantime, I'm going to try to grow this lovage, because if it works, I'll have some gorgeous plants to look at out of my window, out of my kitchen window. I'm just so excited to grow a lot of things that are kind of different. And this pack of seeds from Baker Creek, they set in at a minimum of 200 seeds. So they're plus or minus, there could be around 200 seeds. And I only planted 3 in each hole out here. I just put 3. Something I read on one of the websites said that, these plants get, in their first year, 6 to 8 feet tall. They can even get bigger than that, I think. And it said that 1 to 2 plants is plenty for a family to have growing. You don't need to plant like 20 lovage plants. So I put 3 out here because I had 3 of those holes dug. And because, like I said, you don't know whether you're going to maybe have one hole that's not even going to come up, the other 2 might. So I'm giving it a shot in all 3 of these areas. But I only put about 3 seeds in each one, so that's like 9 seeds out of 200. What I really want to start doing, in light of the things that are going on in this world, my mind goes in lots of different directions. I have myself and my husband to worry about, my son who still lives at home, but also I'm constantly thinking about my grandkids and my daughter and just the expenses and the costs that are going up every time they go to the grocery store. She and I was like, wow, it's getting crazy. The cost to feed a young family is getting crazy, but just for everybody. And I always think about also my community. And these seeds, for say $4, I guess it was, maybe from Baker Creek. And I'm sitting here with, over 190 extra seeds. I don't know yet. I wouldn't want to give these seeds to somebody and say, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. I haven't grown it yet. But as I grow it, I won't ever have to buy seeds again because this will flower and make seeds. And it says it reseeds very easily. The growth habit of these plants were rated easy. And they will reseed, and they are perennials, and they will come back year after year after year. I do believe you need to cut them back after they finish seeding and all that stuff. You do need to cut them back for the fall, but they will be there the next year, and probably more of them because of the reseeding. So what I'm saying is, I will just have a bounty of seeds, and I don't mind sharing things like that. I don't mind propagating some plants to give away to people. I want everybody that lives near me, especially people with children, to have food. Now, lovage might not just fill your belly and just, you get up and fry you some good lovage in the morning. It might not be that kind of food, but it's an addition to food. And it breaks the monotony of, say, a regular salad with just iceberg lettuce you buy at the store. When you can fill, my grandkids eat salad, so if you can fill a salad with good, nutritious, homegrown greens and stretch and stretch and stretch as many meals as possible, if you can add bulk to any stew, any soup with these homegrown vegetables of any kind, and also, let me back up and say, also, the tap roots that this lovage puts off, goes down in the ground, the tap roots can also be dug up and used. They can be grated and put in salads and everything, so they're usable. So the whole plant just about, I don't know if it's kind of like celery, you're chopping the stems and stuff. You probably could chop the stems of this lovage, but for sure the leaves, the seeds, and the tap roots you can use. So that's bulk. I'm growing the green onions. That's all I've got going up here right now, so that's all I can really speak to. But as I put more and more and more in, I want to always have things to offer. I want to always have things that I can send home with my daughter, fresh grown this, fresh grown that. I want to always have things that I can use to extend mine and Richard's meals. I don't know that you ever get to where you don't have to go to the grocery store. I certainly am not going to be that way right now because I don't raise eggs and I don't raise meat. But I can raise a lot of things. I can see what all I can do on this property. And I can expand into other things later. Time just has to be right. And I also, I just know how much this girl can take sometimes. I've got a lot on my plate right now. And I'm working on it. But it's exciting to me to put in vegetables and herbs that I know I can use in multiple ways and that I know will reseed themselves, that will come back later without me having to come out here and do a whole lot of work to them. So that's exciting. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place with another thing in the ground. Another root planted. Hopefully, if they get going, hopefully I'll keep everybody updated. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.